It turns out that traces of peanut can get into all sorts of food, from cooking oil and biscuits right through to breakfast cereals. Well, now British scientists have devised a simple test that could take the guesswork out of trying to decide what's safe for allergy sufferers to eat.
Christmas Day come, we had all the family round. Alan asked for a bit of Christmas cake, took a bite, and he was instantly ill. His eyes were swelling up, his throat was swelling up, he was coughing, choking.
The cake had been won in a raffle. Alan received emergency treatment, recovered, and today he's a champion angler. But that Christmas cake could have claimed his life.
It really is unnerving to think that, your son, which only got one son, it could kill him.
A simple allergy test has shown that Alan is one of thousands of children allergic to peanuts. His doctor, Pamela Ewan, regularly sees children with the same frightening symptoms.
If someone eats something containing peanut, they can have asthma, but much more commonly you can have swelling of the lining of the breathing tube. So it's like being strangled, but from within. Keep your arm still for a moment. I'm going to block these off. There's been an enormous increase in the numbers we're seeing. We previously saw about 5 patients with peanut allergy a year, and now we're seeing as many in a week.
Tragically, peanut allergy kills about 6 people every year in the UK who don't get emergency treatment quickly enough. Alan was lucky, and he can now continue to enjoy the normal life of a healthy 10-year-old, as long as he avoids peanuts. And that isn't always easy.
Shopping in the supermarket takes twice as long as it would do normally. If you want to buy anything that you don't normally buy, you have to take your time and read all the labels and make sure you read them properly.
But however closely you read the labels, it's not easy. Manufacturers do put warning labels on foods they know contain nuts, but incredibly, it's often the case that they themselves can't be certain that there aren't any traces of peanuts in the food they make. So how can that be? Even if manufacturers are sure their raw ingredients don't contain peanuts, there's still a risk of nuts contaminating the final products. That's because sometimes food that starts out being peanut-free shares a production line with food that does contain nuts. So what's needed is a reliable way of showing what is safe for peanut allergy sufferers to eat. That's why this new peanut test is so important. It can detect smaller traces of peanut than ever before in both raw ingredients and finished products. I put it to the test.
Well, we've got 16 ground up food samples, and amongst these samples there are some which I know contain peanut proteins, but I want you to tell me which they are.
OK, let's see how I get on. What's special about this test is that it uses new antibodies specifically designed to recognise peanut protein. It took the designers more than 3 years to develop, but what they've got are antibodies that latch onto peanut protein and peanut protein alone. If there is peanut in the food sample, a special dye added to the mixture will turn it blue. As far as I'm concerned, it's quite clear. I think there's peanut protein present in the samples in column 3, column 7 and column 8. How did I get on, Joe?
That's in fact correct.
To be fair, these were obvious samples like peanut butter, stir-fry sauce and breakfast cereal, so you'd expect the test to work. Well, it doesn't stop there. The testers have been able to pinpoint 10 parts of peanut in 1,000,000 parts of marzipan, like finding a needle in a haystack. In the future, it's hoped there'll be a much quicker and easier kit. Perhaps a dipstick test using a paddle like this. It would mean manufacturers could test right on the production line rather than in a lab. But even though the test can detect 10 parts per million of peanut, no one's really sure if that means it's sensitive enough to find the minute traces of nut that could kill the most severe allergy sufferers. The man behind the peanut test is Dr. Mike Morgan.
We do not know how small a quantity can set off allergic responses in particular individuals. We know that in some of those individuals the amount involved is very, very low.
So Mike Morgan is now working on making peanut antibodies that are even more sensitive than the ones used in his current test. That should lead to clearer labelling on the supermarket shelves, and allergy sufferers will at last be guaranteed a Merry Christmas. It turns out that traces of peanut can get into all sorts of food, from cooking oil and biscuits right through to breakfast cereals. Well, now British scientists have devised a simple test that could take the guesswork out of trying to decide what's safe for allergy sufferers to eat.